In 2015 to 16, the prevalence of obesity in the United States was 39.8% in adults and 18.5% in youth. What considers somebody or a source credible? How can we make an educated decision on what sources are considered trustworthy? First, let's take a look at what our definition in our book states about credibility. It's to the extent to which others perceive us to be competent and trustworthy. Now, when I watch a video online or I read an article or in a magazine, my first response is to ask myself if what I've taken in came from a trustworthy source. The saying, never judge a book by its cover, is a very complex but true statement. With respect to my passion for achieving a healthy, balanced nutrition, here are two examples of potential credible statements. 1. We all know that sugar is bad for our health. And 2. Not all sugar is bad. By the end of my speech, you will be able to decipher between which two of these statements came from a credible source. Second, let's ask ourselves a few questions here. Do the authors have any form of education or any experience on the topic at hand, or in the field of science or nutrition? Furthermore, are they associated with a group or any groups that would be trying to persuade their readers into being for or against their claims? You can imagine for a moment a professor of science or a dietitian making the claim that all sugar is bad for the human body. I know I can't. But why is that? A few factors that we just went over were association, education, and experience. And we could also imply here that a dietitian is also familiar with speaking on the level of logos. They have the evidence of science and logic to back them up in what they say. It's just common sense to hold a person who is educated to a higher regard because they have a heightened understanding of reason. Take TED Talks, for instance. Could we both agree that that's a trustworthy source? Each speaker always gives their credentials. Most of the time they'll say if or that they are associated with a group on which they're speaking or passionate about. And you can tell that they're also very casually, or they're dressed up, so they have a really nice appearance and they speak on experience and they're pretty competent. Now let's also not take into consideration that the nervousness or that they're really shaky about public speaking, because that's a big fear for all of us. I know it is for me, maybe about you. But that doesn't mean that everybody is incompetent, just a little fearful. So let's recall the statements on sugar from earlier. Which one did you think came from a credible source? We all know that sugar is bad for our health, or not all sugar is bad. If you guessed the latter, you're correct. In our oversaturated information world today, our first point of reference is typically the internet. Now that's not a bad thing. We truly do live in a remarkable time where we can get almost all of our questions answered with one click or 99 clicks. It is extremely important to understand that we must take personal responsibility when using credible resources when possible. Just like we are cautious about the foods that we feed our children, let's also be cautious with the information that we feed our minds. Thank you.